Cell membranes. The function of the cell membrane is to provide a selectively permeable barrier that surrounds the cell. This enables the cell to control whatever enters it and exits it. It's important that you use the word selectively or partially permeable and not semi-permeable, incidentally. So there's a selectively permeable barrier, and that enables the cell to ensure that it has the correct environment for cellular function. You also find membranes within the cells surrounding organelles like the nucleus and the mitochondria. The cell membrane is made out of phospholipids. These have the same basic structure as a triglyceride, except that one of the fatty acids is replaced by a phosphate group. This is the phosphate group, and that results in one end of the molecule being hydrophilic, this end here, and one end of the molecule being hydrophobic, this end here. Hydrophilic means water-loving, hydrophobic means water-hating. So when you then put these molecules into an aqueous environment, the molecules will arrange themselves so that the hydrophilic heads are in contact with the water and the hydrophobic tails are not. So initially this will result in the formation of something called a micelle, basically a circle with the hydrophilic heads here in contact with the aqueous environment and the hydrophobic tails all being protected in the middle. On a larger scale, this is going to result in a phospholipid bilayer like this. So here you have the aqueous environment, so you have the hydrophilic heads here and the hydrophobic tails being protected in the middle. And it is this which makes up the cell membrane. In addition to the phospholipid bilayer, the cell membrane has various other components as shown in this diagram. Peripheral proteins, such as this, sit on top of the surface attached to the phospholipid bilayer. They're likely to have hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions too, and so they will sit like that. And these peripheral proteins often have carbohydrate groups attached to them, making them glycoproteins. You can also have carbohydrates attached to the lipid component as well, making them glycolipids. These will then be involved as receptors in cell-to-cell signalling. You also have these channel proteins, and these allow the movement of some substances across the membrane, generally small hydrophilic substances that cannot cross the hydrophobic midsection here. Carrier proteins, such as these, are able to act as pumps, moving molecules from one side to another, and they will literally sort of flip-flop from one side of the phospholipid bilayer to the other. Cholesterol is also an important part to help provide mechanical stability. It's a steroid molecule that fits between the fatty acid tails here, and that helps to make the barrier more complete, so substances like water and ions cannot pass directly through the membrane. As temperature increases, membrane permeability will also increase because this is a fluid structure. Everything is sort of moving around a little bit, and so as the molecules increase their kinetic energy, then they will move faster, which will leave gaps, which will make the membrane leaky. So consequently, organisms that live in extreme temperatures will have different adaptations, often to do with the amount of cholesterol, to combat this.